Yeah, the bad boys. Right, so we're out. 2 Gen 2s. Kawasaki ZZR1400. Yes, I've done the Gen 1. Now it's time to do the Gen 2. The green one is mine, the black one is Mark's. We'll talk about Mark while we're moving now, because Mark's an all-round cool guy. Oh, it's been a hard minute since I've done this shit. Look over the shoulder. Mike is still in. Alright, so welcome back to the channel, y'all. I hope everybody's well and happy, you know, in the current state of affairs in the world, because the world is still fucking crazy. This is a 2012 ZZR1400 Performance. There's a couple of different levels of this bike that you can get. Nothing actual, like, sort of speed wise and all that. It's basically you get the Performance, which comes with the Acra cans on it, Akrapovic cans, which is what this has got on, and you get the Performance Sport, which you get the cans, and then you get the Öhlins suspension on top of that as well, which I didn't really want to pay extra for, because I just don't ride hard enough, I don't think, you know what I mean. I think maybe if I was going halfway around the world on one of these, I'd maybe look at going for the Sport, the Performance Sport with the Öhlins suspension on. But as it stands, no. So first question is, why did they get rid of the ZX14? Well, the ZX14, and I'll link that video below, was absolutely all the bike I ever wanted. You know, it's perfect in every way. It was relatively comfy, fast, turned heads, did everything you wanted it to do. You know, I could ride that thing for hours and hours on end, and it was weirdly comfier than my Triumph Tiger 1050. But I just knew after I'd ridden the Gen 2 Performance that this was going to be the final bike, if you like. This was going to be the one that I was going to buy, and then that was going to be me done for a very, very long time. So it's a 2012, it's got about 25,000 miles on this bike. I got this from the nice people at J&S in Northwich. Great service from the people in J&S. So I'm not affiliated with them in any way, you know. This is not a paid promotion. They're just nice. They were just nice people, you know. And what was nice was, I fucking hate this junction. Let's wait for the truck to go. Oh, he's turning. Excellent. What was nice with the people from J&S was they, when you go to pick the bike up, there's a little sign on it that says, this bike is reserved for Johnny. Please don't touch, out of respect for the owner. And you just think, oh, that's a cool little vibe, you know. So what does £7 get you for a 2012 machine? Well, look, they've discontinued this bike now. They did that with the Busa, didn't they? You know, they kind of stopped for a little while, and then they've kind of revamped it and re-released it, and it's gross. I'm not a fan. I just don't think I'm a Suzuki fan in general anymore. I just, you know, I don't know, I just find like the Gixxers and the Busa kind of a little bit long in the tooth. I mean, I could be wrong, you know, and all you Gixxer boys are getting ready to absolutely fucking annihilate me in the comments now, and that's okay, because this channel is all about opinions, you know what I mean. Taking it easy, still a bit slippy out here, watching my lines before any of you advanced instructors tell me that I'm taking the wrong line. Probably what the GoPro isn't picking up is just how fucking slippy it is, especially under these trees. There's some wet patches, so I'm altering my turning line. Nigels, thank you. You weren't in the right position to look at the vanishing point of the road as you went round that left-hand sweeping bend. I would have preferred 4th gear instead of 5th as well. You know the type. So this bike, in a nutshell, is absolutely phenomenal. Most of the bikes which I've reviewed on this channel have all been fantastic in some way or another, but this bike beats them all. It does. This just comes with, it's got 25mm risers on it, 1.5 inch, I think, lowered foot pegs, which make a massive difference. Massive difference. I'm 6 foot. A little bit thinner than I was on previous videos. I was 18 stone 4, I'm now 15 stone 7. So I'm feeling super sexy, and it just makes it a lot easier being less fat on a motorbike. And it will handle like an absolute bitch as well. It will just, this thing will go wherever you want it to go. Now there's a few myths with these bikes that people think that they're big and they're long and they're like a couch and they're like a bus and they don't handle. That's absolute bullshit, and it's normally from people that have never ridden one. You know, any bike will go round the corners quickly. Any bike. You know, you can Google fast Harley Davidson rider in the mountains and look for it on YouTube, and you'll find a guy turning around the mountains in America, just fucking annihilating people on his Harley Davidson, because it will go if you want it to go. Same thing with the acceleration, it's all there. So let's talk about the differences between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. Gen 1, slightly different instrument cluster than this. The fueling is the biggest thing. The fueling is in a completely different sort of setup, the way that the power is delivered, because on the Gen 1 pretty much not a lot happens between 4 and 4,500 revs. After 4,500 revs, that's when it gets really, really exciting, and then all fucking hell breaks loose. But the Gen 2 is a lot different because it's there right from the get-go. There's traction control on this bike as well as a couple of levels of traction control. I was watching where Mark was in my minute. Sorry, shit, gear change. So the traction control comes in a couple of different levels, and basically if you want to turn it off and just get the full girth of the weapon that is the ZZR1400, you can get it. It's very rare that I have that turned off, to be honest. I'm normally on my own when I do it, and it's normally a very, very straight road with nobody about, and I mean nobody about, because I'm one of these riders that I like to ride quick, but if I'm out with other people, then I'm really reserved. I'm conscious that I'm out riding with other people's property. You know, the guy that I'm riding with at the minute, Mark, he's on exactly the same bike as me. You know, they're both 200 brake horsepower, 200 mile an hour bikes, but neither one of us is going to ride like an absolute dick. We've both got wives, we've both got kids, you know what I mean? And there's no point in trying to push each other along to the point where one of you gets right out of the comfort zone trying to keep up and you crash. And that's never good. Having to explain to somebody's wife or kids that something fucking horrendous has happened because one of you was acting like a total fucking dickhead. So I tend to keep the traction control just on one. That's kind of like my comfy zone, if you like, because I can still get everything I want out of the bike, especially on the road as well. You know, you're not going to need all of that power. You're just not going to need it. This thing will go round the bends nice and low as well. Oh yes, look at me, I'm Valentino Rossi. One of the things I'm conscious about as well, talking about weight loss, is most of my clothes now, most of my trousers don't fit properly. You know, I've had to really like tighten my belt up when I'm out and about, and with the with the leathers. My leathers are a bit too big now at the waistband, and consequently my t-shirt is poking up out the top of my back, and I think whoever's behind me can see my arse crack, which that's not pleasant for anyone to see that. So look, in all, 7 grand will get you a shit ton of motorcycle. Usually as well, when you buy one of these, most of the hard work's already been done. You know, them extra add-ons have already been done for you. And what I mean by that is, if I give you a list of things that this bike's had done. So obviously it comes out stock. This has got a double bubble screen, heated grips, a 12 volt socket on the left hand side and a USB charging socket on the other side. It's got a centre stand fitted with a grip to be able to pick the bike up, which is attached to the back peg, the rear peg. bar risers, lowered foot pegs, and these are realistically all of the things that you would do if you bought this bike anyway. You'd probably sort of, you know, sit and make a list of all the things you want to bolt onto it. My wife always takes the piss out of me when I buy a motorbike. She says, it's not the expense of the bike, it's the adding on, isn't it? It's the things that you do to it afterwards. That's where the expense comes in. She's probably not wrong.